I just finished my lunch down at the park. Portuguese chicken was good. And I want to discuss two things in this video. I want to discuss Andrew and Tristan Tate's arrest. I believe it was in Miami, Florida. They were issued arrest warrants from the UK. Now, my understanding is they are going to fight extradition to the United Kingdom. Second thing I want to talk about is an incident that Jason Alexander had, I believe, back in 2011 or 2012, when he was doing a comedy skit, and he took his cell phone and he came closer. He touched a 17-year-old girl's breasts with his cell phone. I want to discuss that too, but let's first discuss Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. Whether you like those guys or whether you despise those guys is not what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be looking at, from what I know, objectively and without bias. Basically, we'll put Tristan on the back burner for now. It's Andrew Tate they're after. Andrew Tate is a self-made, I don't know if he's a millionaire. Oh, he's a millionaire. I don't know what he's worth, but it would appear that he has a lot of money. He's based out of Romania. He has many exotic cars and all sorts of luxury things that would lend to him being a top bloke, let's say, or someone that that would be deemed a high value man. If you're a woman looking for someone that is fit, if you're a woman looking for someone that is financially secure. But having said that, if you don't know, Andrew Tate is a very outspoken individual, and he is outspoken with regards to politics, religion, and he's outspoken with regards to the way men and young men should navigate life. And a lot of that outspokenness can be interpreted as very misogynistic, sometimes homophobic, sometimes racist, however you want to put it. What you doing, buddy? What are you doing? How you doing? Rescue dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. From where? Mexico?
Bahamas.
That's close. I was getting there, right? They all got that look to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog.
Well, no, they're different from the tropical countries. They look different. Yeah. See that? I knew that dog was from a tropical country. Rescue dog. I said Mexico. They said Bahamas. Okay. Anyhow, so they have been going after Andrew for quite some time. He has done time in a Romanian jail. I'm not exactly sure if he's done time in a UK jail, but that, by all accounts, is going to come. They've levied 59 charges against him and his brother, which include essay, which is very, very damning. He has inappropriate images of young children. That's what they are claiming. And also human trafficking. So, obviously, very serious charges. Now, you know, a lot of people, the first thing they would do is they would believe the woman or the women involved in this. These cases date back, the SA charges, I believe, date back to 2011 or 2012. That's quite a while ago. So you have to ask yourself, why are these charges being brought up now? And it seems when all these charges are brought up against men, well, they're of historical time. They are like Bill Cosby, Weinstein, Epstein. A lot of these cases, I'm not saying those guys are innocent. I'm not saying they're innocent or guilty either way. I don't know. I haven't followed those cases, but they do seem, those guys I just mentioned do seem like they did perpetrate the crimes. Now, like I was getting at here, what takes so long for someone to come forward? What takes so long to put together a case? It doesn't take 15, it doesn't take 20 years to put this case together. The more, in my estimation, the more you go after the globalist machine, the globalist mechanism, the more you put a target on your back. And right now, Andrew Tate and his brother, they are at the very top of the target on the back sort of thing. The FAFO, fuck around and find out sort of thing. So, but Andrew Tate has called all this. He's called it right down to pretty much the exact scenario how he was going to get arrested, how they were going to silence him. They were going to strip him of his wealth. They are going to sully and slander his name by levying the most heinous of crimes against you. You can't get any lower than being accused of rape. You can't get any lower of being accused of human trafficking. You can't get any lower of being associated with inappropriate and disgusting images of children. So that is, you can't get worse than this. Even if the Tate brothers turned out to be people that were serial unalivers, these charges they currently face are even worse than that. They're worse than a serial unaliver. So in my view, in my estimation, and even the prison population would think the same. If you go into a prison population with that on your jacket, any sort of those type charges on your jacket, there's a very good chance you're not going to do a good time, or you're going to have to go into PC, protective custody. And you know, I know both those guys are tough guys. They're martial arts trained and they're in good shape, so they do have that advantage. But anyhow, I'm off on a bit of a tangent. Now, a lot of the people that are opposed to right-leaning politics, they automatically are applauding that the Tate brothers got arrested. And it's no different than anything with regards to right and left politics. When one side is perceived to take a negative hit, the other side is you know, very enthusiastic and very ecstatic about the downfall of the other side. Now, obviously, in my estimation, that is more prevalent on the left to the right. You know, when a person like Charlie Kirk falls, when a person like Lindsey Graham falls, Mitch McConnell, apparently he's still alive, but people come out of the woodwork almost immediately on the left, and they act, for lack of a better expression, they act insane with regards to their exuberance over someone's demise. So I have people even that I would think that are right-leaning in my circle of people that I know that came out, and they are very glad that Andrew and Tristan Tate are in custody for these alleged crimes. Now, I'm the type of person that, you know, that Me Too movement, that Believe All Women movement, I never bought into that. And the reason I never bought into that is because I don't believe anyone. I really don't believe anyone, woman or man. How can you believe what the mainstream media tells us? How can you believe what the government tells us when all they do every time they're put in front, a camera's put in front of them, they lie? 9/11. You think a couple of guys with box cutters commandeered 757s or whatever airplanes, those giant airliners, and flew them into the Twin Towers? And you think those Twin Towers just collapsed because a tube of aluminum cut all the hardened steel infrastructure? No, it didn't happen like that. Do you believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman with that World War I bolt-action Italian rifle? No. If you believe that, well, you're going to believe automatically whatever the mainstream media tells you. I don't know if Tristan and Andrew Tate perpetrated these crimes. What I do know is they use these sexual crimes as the nail in the proverbial coffin, because once you associate that with someone, and the essay of a woman, the raping of a woman, once you associate that to a man, they will never recover from that, ever. It is like, it's not like Teflon, not like the Teflon Don. It sticks, and it will stick with you the rest of your life. So now, Andrew Tate, by all accounts, his father was in intelligence, in a secret intelligence service. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure if it's true. By all accounts, his father was very highly intelligent person. By all accounts, Tristan and Andrew are intelligent people. If you talk to, well, you don't talk to them, I never talk to them, but if you listen to them, and they're all over the internet, if you listen to especially Andrew, you can tell the guy's an intelligent guy. Now, a lot of women are attracted, believe it or not, a lot of women are attracted to people like Andrew Tate. A lot of women, attractive women, really have no reasonable prospect to make a substantial living through regular means of employment. A lot of women get by on their looks, and they look to get into a relationship with a man that can financially support them for the rest of their lives. And that's just the way it is. That's happened from time itself. Back in the caveman days, you know, a woman isn't going to seek out a man that has an arm ripped off from a saber-toothed tiger. The likelihood of that woman surviving for a weekend is slim to none. So she's going to seek out the alpha dominant male. Same as in the animal kingdom. A lot of women, believe it or not, are attracted to alpha males. And top earners like Andrew, how he made his money is suspect. But nonetheless, he is driving around in multi-million-dollar cars. He is living in compounds, fortified compounds. I'd have to say somewhere along the lines he's gained some wealth. Women are attracted to this. But what that does, it puts a man in a very vulnerable situation. You ask any sports athlete, you ask any professional boxer, any professional wrestler, NFL, NBA, NHL. A lot of these athletes have chaperones with them, and a lot of these athletes will film a woman meeting one of these stars at a hotel, filming the woman on video, saying, you know you're going into that room, are you willing to accept the possibility you're going to have sex with this individual in this room? And the woman has to be caught on camera saying she agrees to do this. Can you imagine that has to be done? That is consent. That has to be done, and it has to be verifiable on camera. This is, I've never witnessed it myself, but I've heard many stories of athletes and athletes handlers and celebrities handlers saying this, because a lot of women out there have bad intentions. It's like they want to get a winning lottery ticket by jamming a guy up. Now, put things into perspective. I don't know anything about the case with Andrew Tate. Over the course of his life, he's always been, as he would say, a top G. So he's had access to women. I'm not saying they all have to be good looking. It doesn't matter if you're good looking or if you're not good looking. He's had access to all of them. So when women throw themselves or make themselves very ready to you, you're not going to say no in every case. So, which means your notch count goes up every week, every month, every year. From the time he was a young adult to him being arrested in Miami last week, who knows how many sexual partners he's had. It's in the hundreds, if not thousands, okay? You talk to any professional athlete that travels around, they've had thousands of sexual partners. Now, of all those thousands, or we'll go with hundreds of sexual partners. I can guarantee you Andrew Tate's been with hundreds, at least. We'll go with that. So, what a government can do, they can go back and they can investigate, and they can put a team of investigators, government investigators, on these women that you've been with. They know you were at Rogers Center, Skydome. They know you were there at a Blue Jay game in 1999 on this date. They can prove that, and they can prove that you brought a woman there with you, and they can prove that you went back to a hotel with that woman. Now they find this woman. This woman could be completely destitute. She could be living in a woman's shelter. I'm just setting this picture up for you. She could be living in a woman's shelter, drug addicted. Okay? So they go to this woman, they offer her help to beat her drug addiction. They offer her a substantial amount of money to testify that Andrew did something inappropriate to her after that Blue Jay game in, what did I say, 1999 at the Skydome. This woman looks at a stack of cash in front of her, a place to live, a nice little bachelor apartment. They put her up somewhere in Toronto. They pay her rent for a year, whatever. They buy her some new clothes. She has her life. Her life is being made whole again. Or another woman has psychological issues. She's had a string of bad relationships with men, and she's looking to get, and maybe Andrew was one of those men she had a bad relationship with, and now the phone rings or someone knocks on her door and says, listen, we'd like you to tell us about Andrew Tate and what he did wrong to you. Now, apparently they did that quite a bit with Andrew, and a lot of the women refused, to their credit, refused to bear false witness against Andrew. But listen, it's like E. Jean Carroll with Donald Trump. You could tell by looking at her and her testimony, She was completely insane. That story that she made up of being pushed up against a changing room stall, and I believe in 1995 in some upscale department store in New York, was similar to a sitcom. Like almost verbatim to a sitcom skit that occurred around the same time. So it's actually quite simple. It's actually quite simple to go get someone to bear false witness. And I'm not just saying women do it. Obviously men do it too. Everyone has a price, or most people have a price. And when that price is met, they will say and do anything. You look at these politicians, and I'm taking it away from loose women. I'm taking it away from loose men. Look at politicians. Look at the floor crossers that crossed over from the NDP and Conservatives into the Liberal Party in the last 6-7 months. Look at them. No, they did it for a price. They did it for a price. They did. So prostitution is prostitution. Now, did Andrew Tate, or should I say, is Andrew Tate a stand-up individual? There is a video that I seen where he was physically manhandling a woman years and years ago, but she's come out and said that it was role play, and she doesn't want any beef with Andrew about that. What happens behind closed doors with video cameras happens behind closed doors with video cameras. The only thing is, there's video proof of that. And that could be misconstrued by a person like me or anyone that's watching this video as a real serious event, when in actuality, they're both consenting adults. We all know this. So we have a giant movement in the world right now where it would appear that it's man versus woman. And we all know, for the most part, women can't physically beat men for the most part. Now, there's lots of women out there thinking, well, Dewey, no, I could kick the shit out of a lot of men. And I've seen women kick the shit out of men. Don't get me wrong. It does happen. But women and men fight differently. A lot of men are vindictive too, don't get me wrong. But a woman has to use vindictiveness. A woman has to use retribution to get back at someone, because they can't physically get back at someone. So they got to use the law. They got to use lying in a lot of cases to get back at someone that has wronged them, they perceive to be wrong. A lot of times a woman will go out and drink too much and wake up in the morning beside someone that they don't remember going to bed with, but when they wake up in the morning, they're ashamed of themselves. And I'll even add to that, and they're in a relationship. The man finds out, and then they accuse this guy of grape. This is a common tactic. This was on Rich Cooper. Rich Cooper is a relationship coach in Canada. He's got a channel, Rich Cooper, and he's got another one called Entrepreneurs in Cars. He had interviewed a cop from, I believe, the Netherlands, and the cop says in about 70% of the grape accusations or allegations, that's exactly what happened. The woman was out with her friends, got jammed up with a guy. The boyfriend found out. Then she tells the boyfriend that she was raped by this guy, and this guy's like, what the? You know, we were out just drinking, having a good time. We were both drunk. We went back to her place, or she came back to my place. Next thing you know, I got the cops knocking on my door. Okay? So, I'm just talking from a street level. I'm just talking from experiences that I've witnessed throughout my life. I'm not saying it's happened to me. Don't get me wrong. That's not never happened to me. But could it happen to me? My lottery tickets come in tonight. I win with the gold ball on 649. It's $36 million, $34 million. I win $34 million. The likelihood of someone from my past finding out that I won the $36 million is going to be great. It's a possibility there that someone's going to say I did something wrong to them to get a piece of that lottery ticket. You're fucking right. You're fucking right. You tell me a lottery person out there that hasn't had this problem. I bet they all have. Not all, but a lot. It's very easy the way the system is set up to do this right now. And now in the UK with Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate, he was saying obviously things that upset a lot of high-level politicians and whoever else handles Tristan, or I shouldn't say Tristan, whoever else handles Andrew. There's many layers to him. Is he a secret operative for a country? I don't know. Possibly he is. I don't know. A lot of people speculate that he works for Mossad, MI6, CIA, FBI. A lot of people speculate all this. Would that surprise me? Absolutely, it wouldn't surprise me. But he's turned against someone. Now, over in the UK, Keir Starmer, who was the chief prosecutor over there before he became a crooked politician. That's the usual transition. You go from a legal representation or judge or whatever into a politician. That's a natural transition. He was in charge where they didn't even investigate upwards of 250,000 women that were essayed and raped. So you would think that would be more of a talking point to get the grooming gangs in court as opposed to Andrew Tate. He's only got 59 charges, 59 measly charges. And I can't believe they didn't give him 159 charges. I guess 59 charges they thought was enough. That's a pretty high number. It's shocking. It's like it's got the wow factor. Wow, let's get this guy. I'm glad he's off the street. Now, honestly, I can't see Andrew Tate. I really can't see Andrew Tate having sexually explicit images of children, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But what I do know, that is a good way to put someone in jail and shut them up and take away all their money, isn't it? Right. Okay, so that's Andrew Tate. That's my thoughts on Andrew Tate and that situation. Now, the second one is Jason Alexander, George Costanza from Seinfeld. Seinfeld, in my estimation, is the best and funniest sitcom of all time. Not even a close second. Did I like George's character in Seinfeld? Yes, I did. I liked everything about Seinfeld. I'm a big fan of Seinfeld. Now, apparently in 2011 or 2012, he was doing a sketch. I believe it was on Funny or Die. It was a comedy sketch. And he was with this 17-year-old girl. I'll put it up on the screen, her name. And he took his cell phone, and he said he had an app on his cell phone, and he scanned it against her breast. I don't know if he touched her breast, whatever. And this 17-year-old girl, I will say, did not look 17. She, I don't know, it looked like she had cosmetic surgery done, an augmentation at the very least. I could be wrong on that, but she looked a lot older than 17. Now, I'm sure if George knew that or not, it's inconsequential. But I will say, her husband, she was married at 17, and she was married to that weirdo from the Green Mile. The character in the Green Mile that was the sketchy jail guard that had a beef with the other guy. He ended up getting shot, and I'll put a picture of him up on the screen too. So they got married when she was 17. He was 41. I believe he was 41, and her parents had to give consent for him to marry her. So this 17-year-old married this 41-year-old weirdo. If that's not child exploitation, I don't know what is. But I don't know if she's going after him now too. I don't know. But she come out and she said that she was essayed. It was inappropriate what Jason Alexander did to her. And I will put the video at the end of this video in a thumbnail. I'll show you what Jason Alexander did. You know, whatever. It's acting. It's acting. Did he, I don't know. He touched her breast with his phone. And it was all arranged to go down like that, my understanding. And her husband is literally here looking at it. So now this girl, I believe, is now 33 years old. I don't know who she is. I would imagine her career's not going very good. I imagine that that sleazeball from the Green Mile, you know, his acting career didn't pan out, so she couldn't get much money out of him. And now maybe she wants some of that Seinfeld money, because we have to assume. I don't know what Jason Alexander's worth, and you know, I don't know. I have to Google it. He's worth millions. Jerry took care of all the cast in that sitcom. So Jason is a multi-millionaire. Maybe she wants some of that a taste of Seinfeld money. Jason Alexander came out and apologized and said his actions were inappropriate. Okay, so he manned up. You know, did he know? Did he know she was 17? Looking at this girl, I would know she was 17. But also, you got to understand, when you do something like that, the likelihood of it coming back on you is great. So I would say that you know, if you're offered to do something like that, you just don't do it, especially this day and age, because it's going to come back on you. So that's what I got for this video. Andrew Tate, I believe he's being politically prosecuted without a doubt, and they are leveling the most heinous accusations against him. You can't get worse, especially when you're in prison. Like I said, you go in with that jacket, there's a chance that someone's going to try to unalive you with that jacket. And politicians and police know that. I know someone from my neighborhood. I'm obviously not going to say his name, but he was a very tough guy. He's deceased now, and he was into criminality. He was intermediate to upper level criminal activity, but the police could never pin him down. And they did do that. The police jammed him up, and they put I an indecent exposure rap, and they arrested him. They said he was near a public swimming pool. Anyhow, it was all bullshit. They arrested him and they threw him in jail for that. And you know, he got off, and he got out of jail and he cleared his name. But that's the cops. That's the cops wanting to get back at someone they can't get legitimately. They'll put a skin beef on you, and that's what we call it on the street. It's called a skin beef. When the cops, when a prosecutor, when a girl, they want to put you in, and they want to put you in a bad situation when you're in jail. They put a skin beef jacket on you. And I'm not saying a lot of the men in prison for that didn't do it. I'm saying there are a lot of men in there that didn't do it. So it's literally he said, she said. And you know, and I've also known men that have been questioned for SA, and the cops determined right on the spot that she was lying. I know men that's happened to. So it's a very, very dirty, slippery slope. That's all I got to say in my video. You got anything to add, put it in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Bye.